Frozen in time. The excavation of Pompeii. Imagine a city where life stopped in a single instant. A place where bustling markets, grand villas, and vibrant streets were swallowed by a force so powerful that it preserved a snapshot of daily life for eternity. This is not a legend, nor a fable. It is Pompeii, the city that vanished beneath a suffocating rain of fire and ash. For centuries, it lay hidden, waiting for the world to rediscover its secrets. What did the eruption of the great mountain reveal about the people who once walked these streets? And what new stories are still emerging from the depths of its buried past? Chapter 1. The City Before the Fire. Pompeii was a city of splendor, a jewel of the ancient world. Nestled near the Bay of Naples, it was a thriving port, home to merchants, craftsmen, and aristocrats who reveled in its prosperity. Founded centuries before the fateful eruption, its streets were lined with elaborate frescoes, grand bathhouses, and temples dedicated to the gods who were believed to watch over the city. The residents of Pompeii, from commoners to nobles, carried out their daily lives with a sense of security, oblivious to the impending disaster. The city was a vibrant tapestry of culture, commerce, and leisure, a place where the mundane and the divine coexisted. The people of Pompeii lived in luxury. Villas adorned with intricate mosaics, courtyards blooming with exotic flowers, and fountains sculpted with divine figures decorated the homes of the wealthy. These lavish homes were not only a testament to the prosperity of their owners but also to the advanced engineering of the time, with aqueducts and plumbing that brought fresh water into their homes. The city's markets were alive with the scent of freshly baked bread, ripe figs, and spiced wine. Gladiators trained in amphitheaters, their battles drawing eager crowds. It was a society in the prime of its existence, with people enjoying entertainment, feasts, and religious ceremonies that honored their gods. In the midst of this, Pompeii was also a center of trade, its merchants exporting wine, olive oil, and precious metals across the Mediterranean. But despite its outward appearance of peace and prosperity, Pompeii was built on the edge of a simmering disaster. Mount Vesuvius, which loomed over the city, was an ever-present threat. Though it had not erupted in living memory, the mountain had shown signs of restlessness for centuries. It was a time bomb, its dormant power waiting for the moment to awaken. The people of Pompeii, unaware of the impending danger, continued to live their lives with little regard for the volcanic threat. When Vesuvius erupted in the year 79 AD, it would change everything. The eruption began with a series of violent explosions, sending a towering column of ash and pumice into the sky, which quickly descended upon the city. The air became thick with smoke, and the ground trembled beneath the feet of the unsuspecting citizens. Within hours, Pompeii would be buried under a blanket of volcanic ash and debris, preserving the city in a tragic moment frozen in time. The eruption was not only a catastrophe for Pompeii but for all who lived in its shadow, and it would take nearly 17 centuries for the city to be rediscovered. In the mid-18th century, a group of archaeologists embarked on the first official excavation of Pompeii. The city, buried for centuries, had remained largely forgotten, its ruins lost to time and nature. The first of these excavations was initiated in the year 1748 under the direction of Spanish engineer Joaquín de Alcubierre. However, the true scope of the site was not understood at the time, and many early excavations were haphazard, with limited knowledge of the city's structure and history. In subsequent years, a variety of expeditions would reveal more about Pompeii's remarkable preservation. Excavators uncovered homes with wall paintings still vibrant with color, and the forms of victims frozen in their final moments, an eerie testament to the catastrophe that had unfolded. Each discovery brought the city back to life, but also reminded the world of the terrible force of nature that had wiped it away. Chapter 2. The Day the Sky Turned to Fire. It began with an ominous tremor, a subtle shake beneath the feet of the unsuspecting citizens. Earthquakes were not uncommon in this region, so few took notice. Then, a deafening roar shattered the midday routine. A monstrous plume of smoke and ash burst from the summit of Vesuvius, climbing higher than the eye could follow. It darkened the sky, blocking out the sun, turning day into an endless twilight. For hours, the residents of Pompeii were forced to endure the eerie darkness, their daily lives upended by an invisible yet ever-present force. Ash rained down like snow, covering the streets in a thick, suffocating blanket. Within moments, roofs caved under the weight of the falling debris, and the streets became a labyrinth of choking dust. The city's bustling marketplace, where vendors once offered their wares, was now a scene of pandemonium. Families fled toward the harbor, hoping to escape the wrath of the volcano by boat. However, many would not make it to safety, as the flames and falling debris made the journey perilous. Others, desperate and frightened, sought refuge in the grand temples, praying to the gods who seemed silent in their distress. The eruption escalated into a ferocious onslaught, and the air itself became poison, thick with sulfur and heat. The once vibrant streets of Pompeii, teeming with life, became a nightmare of chaos and destruction. Those who inhaled the toxic fumes fell victim to the suffocating atmosphere, their bodies collapsing to the ground before they could even comprehend the severity of their fate. The once beautiful city now seemed cursed, its inhabitants unaware that the worst was yet to come. Then came the pyroclastic surge, a cloud of fire and ash moving faster than a galloping horse. The eruption reached its deadly climax, and in an instant, Pompeii was consumed by a fiery torrent of molten rock and searing gas. Buildings crumbled to the earth as the surge swept through the city, erasing all in its path. It was not merely a natural disaster, it was a violent and unrelenting force of nature, reshaping the landscape and sealing the fate of all who remained. Within hours, Pompeii, as it had once been, ceased to exist. The memory of this catastrophic event would remain frozen in time for centuries, buried beneath layers of volcanic ash. It was not until the mid-17th century that the first traces of Pompeii were uncovered. A group of engineers working on a new aqueduct stumbled upon remnants of the lost city, and thus began the slow and careful excavation of what would become one of the most remarkable archaeological sites in the world. Throughout the centuries, explorers, archaeologists, and historians would work tirelessly to uncover the secrets of Pompeii, revealing a world long lost but never forgotten. These excavations continue to this day, offering glimpses into the lives of its residents, frozen in time by the destructive power of Vesuvius. Chapter 3: The Forgotten City. For centuries, Pompeii was nothing more than a whispered tale, a lost city buried beneath layers of hardened ash and time. It was not until the 18th century that its secrets began to resurface. In 1738, workmen, digging for a new palace for the King of Naples, struck upon something unexpected: a frescoed wall, still vibrant with color. This accidental discovery led to one of the most significant archaeological endeavors in history, sparking a wave of excavations that would slowly reveal the rich life of the ancient city. The discovery marked the beginning of a larger awakening, as Pompeii's history was pulled from beneath the earth, step by step, century after century. As excavation began in earnest, a city frozen in its final moments began to emerge. Streets, homes, and shops, all had been preserved under layers of ash from the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in the year 79. The city, once a thriving hub of Roman life, was now a haunting reminder of nature's power. Bodies, preserved in their last desperate attempts to escape, were found in the streets and inside their homes. One of the most haunting discoveries was a family huddled together in their final moments, their features etched in stone like ash, their expressions a mix of terror and resignation. Plaster casts were made of these voids, capturing the exact positions and faces of those who perished, as though time itself had held its breath for nearly 2,000 years. Every object uncovered told a story, not just of tragedy, but of the everyday lives of the Pompeians. Carbonized loaves of bread were found, left to bake in ovens, a testament to the ordinary tasks that had been interrupted. Gold jewelry, meticulously crafted, was clutched in skeletal hands, perhaps in an attempt to take the treasures with them as they fled. A dog, still tethered to a post, its final struggle immortalized in ash, painted a heartbreaking image of loyalty and fear. The eruption had not merely destroyed Pompeii, it had preserved it, locking its people in a moment of tragedy that would never fade. The initial excavations were slow, as many of the early archaeologists were more focused on collecting artifacts to adorn royal collections than on properly documenting the finds. However, over time, scientific methods of excavation improved, and the focus shifted to understanding the daily life of Pompeii's residents. One of the most significant breakthroughs came in the 19th century, when archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli took charge of the digs. He introduced the technique of creating plaster casts of the voids left by bodies in the volcanic ash, providing an unprecedented glimpse into the final moments of the victims. The discoveries of Pompeii continued to captivate the world, with each excavation uncovering new treasures and providing more insight into the ancient city's social and cultural dynamics. Artifacts such as pottery, paintings, and even graffiti offered a window into the lives of Pompeii's inhabitants. In the years that followed, various expeditions would return to Pompeii, piecing together the story of this once thriving Roman city and immortalizing the tragedy of its eruption for generations to come. Chapter 4. The Modern-Day Excavations. Pompeii, a city preserved in time by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, continues to captivate the imagination of archaeologists and historians alike. Even in the modern age, the city remains an active site of excavation, each year revealing new fragments of daily life frozen in volcanic ash. In the past few years, a completely untouched street of houses was unearthed, its walls adorned with frescoes so vivid that they appear as though they were painted just yesterday. The colors, once dulled by centuries of ash, now glow under the careful hands of restorers, offering a glimpse into the vibrant world of ancient Pompeii. Among the remarkable finds in these recent excavations is a well-preserved thermopolium, a Roman fast food stand, where the colorful menu is still visible on the walls, boasting offerings of hot dishes like fish, meat, and legumes. This discovery paints a picture of the daily hustle and bustle of the city's streets, where locals and travelers alike could stop for a quick party meal. Even more captivating were the skeletal remains of horses found nearby, their saddles ornate and meticulously designed, suggesting the wealth and status of their owners, who no doubt participated in the grand processions and festivities of the city. Thanks to advances in technology, our understanding of Pompeii has taken on a whole new dimension. Laser scanning and ground-penetrating radar now allow archaeologists to examine the city's deep layers without disturbing the fragile structures beneath the earth. These tools have uncovered previously unknown sections of the city, revealing hidden houses, gardens, and shops that were once lost to the sands of time. DNA analysis has also provided new insights into the health and diet of the Pompeians. The results show signs of diverse genetics, suggesting that Pompeii was a cosmopolitan hub, thriving through connections with trade routes stretching across the Roman Empire, from the shores of Africa to the far reaches of Britain. But even with the latest technology, Pompeii's mysteries are far from solved. A recent discovery of a ceremonial chariot, intricately decorated and seemingly prepared for a grand procession, hints at the opulent celebrations that once filled the streets. This rare find offers a window into the cultural and religious practices of the time, where public spectacles were grand affairs that showcased Rome's wealth and power. Yet, amidst the lavishness, more somber discoveries also emerge. A small room, thought to have been a slave's quarters, stark and unadorned, provides a glimpse into the lives of those who served silently in the background, working tirelessly to maintain the grandeur of their masters' estates. With each excavation, Pompeii reveals another layer of its story, a story of life that was halted abruptly by disaster but continues to speak to us across the centuries. Each newly uncovered object, from delicate frescoes to bones buried in haste, contributes to the ongoing narrative of a city that was vibrant and full of life, much like the world we live in today. Pompeii is not merely a ruin, it is a time capsule, a place where the past breathes through the ashes. It is a reminder of nature's power and humanity's fragility. It shows us that while civilizations rise and fall, their stories endure. The city once lost to fire now speaks louder than ever, whispering its tale to those who walk its streets today. And as archaeologists continue to dig, one can only wonder, what other secrets remain hidden beneath the layers of time, waiting to be uncovered? And that's it, thanks for watching. If you enjoy exploring historical worlds, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more exciting stories.